Thanks for joining us. Bill has the night off. A first alert update tonight on a shocking video of a Shawano Community Middle School student assaulting another student in class. We first brought you this story Wednesday. Today, we're digging into the Shawano School District's bullying policies and hearing from police. Again, we want to warn you, the video you're about to see may be disturbing to some. Emily Riley shows us what the school's principal is doing to stop the incidents from being shared on social media.
A letter to the parents from the school's principal says he's no longer allowing cell phones during any part of the school day. As parents continue to voice concerns, Lieutenant Mike Musloff with the Shawano Police Department and the district's school board says the board is currently laying out steps they will take for improvement. He could not share the specific actions taken against the student in the most recent assault.
If the school district decides to go for something past the suspension, that would be an expulsion. They would come to the school board and then have the school board decide on the expulsion.
Currently, there aren't any tools to report bullying anonymously through the district's website. It's up to the student, staff, or parent to verbally report it. Some other school districts, such as Appleton, have sections designated to speak up, speak out. Jessica Waller is a parent of a child who has dealt with bullying at the school.
I feel terrified for my daughter to send her to school. It's ridiculous that she can't feel safe. Like, she's still always calling me wanting to come home because she doesn't feel safe.
Lieutenant Musloff encourages parents to attend the next school board meeting on June 5th. The principal also says in a letter to parents he'll be sending out a survey next week asking for volunteers for school initiatives and is open to input. Action 2 News will continue to stay on the story and bring you any new developments. In Shawano, Emily Riley, Action 2 News.